Okay, so in this video, we're going to have a look at the union of sets. So let's start with our definition. We have two sets, so let S and T be sets. Now the union of S and T, which is denoted by our little notation here, denoted by S with the little cup symbol like this, S union T. Now, the union is the set whose elements are either in S or in T. So the key word here for the union is the term or. So remember, intersection is associated to the word and the union is or. Now, we use or inclusively, okay, which means that it contains the word and. Okay, so it can be either in S or in T, or in both S and T. Okay, this is what it means for or to be inclusive. Now, what about this definition in terms of the Venn diagrams? Well, let's say I have two sets like this, S and T. Well, the union of both is simply the entire thing, okay? You take all of the elements of S, all of the elements of T, including this common part right here. All right, what about the trivial examples? The most obvious examples that we can come up with. Let me write that again. Examples. Okay, so for our first example, we're going to need a set S. So let S be a set. Now, if I take the union of S with the empty set, well, it's going to give me, I'm going to obtain the set S. Okay, so you take all of the elements of the empty set, which is no elements at all, and you take all of the elements of S, well, what you obtain are the elements of S. The same thing if you take the union of S with S, well, you obtain S. Now, what about some less trivial examples? I have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, then union 3, 7, 4, and 9. I simply take all of the elements and I don't take into account the multiplicity of the objects. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have all of the elements of this set right here, but I already covered those two objects of my second set, and I have 7 and 9. So the moment I have at least one object in either of my two sets, well, I know that I'm going to obtain at least one object in the union of those two sets. So, which means that if you have, for instance, S union T to be equal to the empty set, well, you know that S is equal to T and they are both the empty set. We have this implication right here. Now, we like to think of the union of two sets, let's say A and B, to be the set, the smallest set, in fact. The union is the smallest set containing A, or let me write that a little bit bigger, A and B. Okay, so remember how we defined it. We have two sets S and T. The union of S and T is the set whose elements are either in S or in T. Remember, the or is inclusive. That is very important.